it a little bit more, but
like
pull it
full
off the
time.
pocket. There's a spoon if you want.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I would have.
All right, we can go ahead and get started. So, I'm Zach. This is Adam. Adam is helping as well. And so I can give you a quick overview. Adam's handing out some stuff that we'll reference here in a minute. But here's what we wanted to cover. One, understand what you use currently as a database, what you like, what you don't like. And you can help decide if Boomtown is a good option for you. Boomtown is not, there's no perfect CRM. I've tried almost all of them. What's cool about Boomtown is this is a really, really expensive platform if you were to buy it individually. So, like if you individually wanted to create a Boomtown account, call them up, you're spending over $1,000 every month. So, it's a super powerful system. But obviously, it's only as good as what you put into it, right? So, we'll learn how to access it, how to log in, navigate, update your profile, input a lead, and create an e-alert. All those things will make sense in a few minutes. Learn how to navigate around, which I said right up there. Talking about internet leads versus your own sphere of influence database. Understanding tags versus categories. And the flow of how and why you should categorize your leads. And a high-level overview of what smart drip campaigns are. One of the cool things about Boomtown is it has a lot of, I guess, AI, some algorithms that can do some pretty cool things with your information and data, and then be able to communicate with people that are in your network kind of on your behalf without you being involved. To learn how and where to access the training, how to download the app, and to get commitments from you that you'll take the training and become proficient, and then kind of a quick plan of how you can upload your database. So just real quick, outside of Boomtown, what is a database? The rest of the dumb question. It's a place to keep contacts, right? So, okay, I'm going to print out a few more handouts. If you don't have a handout, that's fine. You'll get one here in a few minutes. It's not something that you need right away, but. All right, so what is a database? Use this over here. All right, so it's a place for your contacts. What else? What else? How do you use it? Why do you have one? What's that?
So you can get in touch with people, tag them a lot, send them all your information, and be there when they're ready to find someone else.
So it's a way to keep people to keep people in front of you, keep them top of mind, right? So it's one place for contacts, right? Place to keep them top of mind. I'm not very good at writing on walls. Top of mind. What else? How do you use it? Who has any sort of a database right now? I mean, in theory, if you have a phone, you've got a database, right? Well, who has? Well, just shout out what do you use in your database? What do you use for your database now?
Google Drive.
Google Drive, like an Excel sheet, Google Sheets, okay? What's that, Google Sheets? Okay.
We have Google Sheets, but individual tab for each one of our touch points. So that could be real estate review, it could be low. So we have them in a master list and then subcategorized by which touch point really needs to be.
Okay, so you are somehow categorizing them or tagging them in different things, different ways. All right, Google Sheets, Excel. If you do use Excel and you want to stick with that, I would suggest moving to Google Sheets. I think Google's backup plan is probably better than yours, I'm guessing. So you drop a computer in the bathtub or something, and you don't have a backup, bye-bye database. How often are you, in theory, supposed to look at your database?
Every day.
Every day? Yeah, at least once a week, right? So, is it ever done? Some people say, I want to finish my database this week. Is it ever done? No. It's a living, breathing organism. So you're constantly meeting people. Unless you just sit at home and never talk to anybody and never meet a new person, then maybe your database is done, but then you're probably not going to be very successful in this business. So, it's always in process. So looking at it often allows you to have the kind of reminders to keep people updated. What kind of information would you put in there?
Contact.
So what does that mean? Like
Email,
so name,
email address,
email, phone,
Kids.
Birthday.
I'm sorry, birthday. What did you say? Somebody said something about a house.
When they bought their house.
When they bought their house, the dates, property addresses of when they bought their house. What else?
Where they went to undergrad.
Stamps.
Where they went to college.
Things about them.
Things about them, right? Yeah.
Status as a client, or, you know, whether they're a lead or whether they're.
Maybe like a past client or an active buyer or somebody you never want to talk to again. They were mean to me.
Yeah.
So all that's good stuff. If you've got, I made a list here, name, email, phone, address. Those are the basics, right? So you get junk mail every day at your house with people that have, and in your inbox of people that have at least some portion of these, right? So that's the absolute basic of any database. A referral source, who referred them? Have y'all ever read the book, is it The Tipping Point? It's a Malcolm Gladwell book. I think it's The Tipping Point. Anyway, it talks about, and I forget what he calls them, but it's a category of people that he talks about, and he basically says that whatever he calls them, they are like the megaphones. They take a brand that they get, what is it?
Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell. So and they take whatever brand they're passionate about and they just start like shouting out. And there's some people that love that and they love just giving referrals. I love to give referrals. People ask me, I've gotten a lot of business over the years of people just saying, hey, do you have an electrician, do you have a plumber, do you have this, that? And it's a little value added thing. We've all dealt with people who are good and who are bad, and so we can probably have a pretty short list of people that we like. My wife hates giving referrals. She never wants to be responsible for anyone else having a bad experience, right? Even if it's an incredible person, she'll stay silent. She's like, I'm not, no. I mean, what if, that's my friend. What if somebody doesn't treat him the right way? So I took my wife off my database, but but there are people like that, right? So referral source, you start tracking referral sources, you might find that you've got somebody who has given you like 10 clients. We've got, me, Scott, and Crystal work together. We've got this one group that I connected with. Funny enough, I went to an auction event. I liked it. I wanted to meet these guys. I wrote a note. There were probably 500 people at the auction. I wrote a note to one of them and just said, hey, incredible event. Well done. Whatever. I got an email about a week later saying, hey man, thank you very much. That was really nice of you to write a note. I'd love to get to know you. Let's go get lunch. That's turned into 10 referrals. They're our biggest referral source ever. So they're categorized as a big source of referrals, right? And then anybody I get as a referral from them, I link it back to them. So likes, dislikes, what people do for a living, kids, pets, birthdays, home anniversaries, past properties owned, tags, categories. So I think we covered kind of most of what a good database has. One of the things that was kind of neat that I heard a few years ago, there's a guy in, I'm drawing a blank his name, but he has a company in 3 states out west, huge company, big real estate company. All they do is teams. They don't have individual agents in the company. It's just a company that is designed to support real estate teams. Kind of a unique concept, but he said one of the things he's gotten into is actually selling books of business, like selling teams. If, one team is kind of the team leader or whatever is getting ready to retire, he will help them sell their team effectively to somebody else. I'm like, what? I've never even heard of that. That's how do you value that? And he said, it all depends on the depth of their database. Wow. So how does that work? And he said, well, they might want to retire in a year, and so they'll identify somebody who wants to basically buy their book of business, and they'll spend the year kind of, cultivating their database. If it's just these things, it's like, all right, but, I don't know anything about them. But if it's like, I've got their kids' names, their birthdays, their home anniversary, stuff I've sent them, all kinds of information about that, that's really valuable, and somebody literally can pick up and run with them where they left off. Referral sources. Who are your key referral sources? So that's a really valuable asset. I thought that was a really good testament to the value of a database. So enough on that. What is Boomtown? So, does anybody play with it already? Few people? Okay, so some people have a little bit. So, and again, this is not designed to be a sales pitch for Boomtown. A system that you use, a mediocre system that you use consistently is way better than a good system that you don't use. So, use the system that works for you, but if you want to learn about this and try it, I'd love it. So, it's a powerful agent-facing CRM, so it's a back-end agent-facing CRM. There's lead capture opportunities, nurtures, a lot of tracking. There's one platform for all communication with clients, and it's there's a lot of behavior pattern tracking, which I'll talk about in a little bit. It also has a consumer-facing website for the company and for individual agents. So if you go to villagerealestate.com, that's actually driven by Boomtown. So if you go to yourname.villagerealestate.com, that's also powered by Boomtown. You'll be able to access that. There is a live connection to RealTrack's IDX feed for real-time updates, and then multiple lead capture areas with tried and true tested technology. So the Village side, that's the Village website. You've probably seen that. The back end side, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to take a minute. I'll show you how it works and how we can kind of navigate around Boomtown. All right, so can we see this? All right, so don't worry about trying to man a computer. I wouldn't worry about following along just yet. I just want to give you some high-level overviews of what this looks like. So, when you first log in, this is the default screen. It's called Lead Central, right? And so this is all of our leads. I hate the term lead. I don't want to be somebody's lead, but that's what Boomtown calls people. So that's what we're going to use. So this is my personal database. So we've got 485 people in it. Now that's not 485 households necessarily, right? So that might be, a husband and a wife. Some people have even put kids in there separately, but you can link people together. And so that's what it looks like. So Lead Central is kind of the main home screen. It's the first thing you see. There's a little thing right here. Y'all see that? A little thing that's hidden. If you click that, these are just all kinds of different filters that you can do. So maybe, depending on how much you use this, you might need to call somebody. You've got people categorized as you need to call them. Maybe you want to set up an e-alert, which is effectively a much more powerful version of the RealTrack's Auto Notify. You can click on that. So it helps you break that 485 person list down into bite-sized chunks. Because quite frankly, that's kind of overwhelming. Like, I need to look at my database every day or every week. Like, man, I want to go preview that house and go to the broken house. It's like 485, that's going to take me a while. So you can break things down into different categories. And there's a marketing center. We're not going to get into that. There's a zillion elements to this system. So we're going to just kind of brush the surface today. But ultimately, once you start playing with it, once you start diving into the training, you'll be able to learn a lot that way. What's that? And then there's this thing down. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but there's this add a lead section right here. And there's two places that you can do that. One is right here. Another one is right up here with this little guy. So it's pretty simple. You would just type in Adam Brooks, Adam at ilovehouses.com or whatever your
That is nice.
Great. I really, really love houses. Send welcome email. If you click on that, it's going to send them an email right away. So if somebody's not expecting you to have entered into a system, just uncheck that. Phone number, you might put cell phone and mobile. It also has here. I'm not really sure why that's there, to be perfectly honest, because you got to drop down here. But mobile phone, if you want to put a description there, you could. The lead's not in Canada probably. Put their address, the source, just ignore this. You have to put something down, but this is for people that are doing a lot of like, you know, spending thousands of dollars a month in online lead generating advertising. If you're putting, you know, a source here. So these are all like lead generating systems. CMT.com, really?
But if it's your base, though, you go to agent, which is one of the first ones, and you have to put something in before adding a lead.
So you go to, what did you say?
So if it's from your base, if you're just adding your base, then there's an agent. It just says agent.
Right there. All right, so
And you have
put
to
it.
select it to add.
You have to select that. So it'll default to you as the agent. Don't worry about the lender right now. Are they a buyer, seller, or buyer and seller? Pretty simple, right? It doesn't ask you a bunch of info about their birthdays and all that stuff, but you can do that later. So then once they're in, everybody will show up in this lead central category. And it may look like this, it may look like that. I'm gonna close that for a minute just to create a little bit more room. It also may look like this. So just click that those three little lines at the top left if you want to expand and see words as opposed to pictures. But these things just collapse so you can see more stuff. So let me go to this is my mother-in-law. She's always my example. So I put my mother-in-law in here. That's her, she's a nice lady. She's now closed. It was a little awkward. I said she was a hot lead for a little bit, and I said she's hot, and then I felt a little weird saying that about my mother-in-law. She's a very nice lady. So she lives in North Carolina. She was buying a second home here a few months ago. Actually, back in July she closed, right? But what I did is I inputted her phone number and her email address, and it automatically pulled up her social media accounts. So it'll just find those.
Part of the verification.
Yeah, and so
So it just pulls that from the.
it'll pull up, and if it doesn't say it, there will be a little button up here that says find social media accounts. You can click that and it'll start searching for them. Right, so she got a Facebook page, Twitter page.
It has to be the email though that they use to set up that account.
That's
Otherwise,
correct.
it won't do it.
Yep, it's got to be the email that set up the account. So, but it also pulled in her picture from one of those social media accounts. So I didn't upload her photo. There's all kinds of stuff here. Web activity, we'll talk about that in a second. But she's used villagerealestate.com. So I logged her in. She was assigned to me in my account. But once she did that, anytime I taught her how to log in, anytime she went to villagerealestate.com, she didn't have to go to exactlygear.villagerealestate.com or whatever your subdomain is. She just went to villagerealestate.com and would search for properties. I also set her up on an e-alert so she would receive emails or daily or instantly depending on properties that matched her interest, just like you would on RealTracks. Except it tracks everything, right? So she's been on the website 71 times. I can click on that and see, you know, all the different dates and times that she's been on, right? So she's on with a little cell phone. Picture of a BlackBerry, I guess. And she hasn't been on since July because I turned off her e-alerts. She's looked at 26 properties on the website. I can see each and every one of those, right? She's looked at, she hasn't favorited any, but she could have. Just like you would if you're shopping online and you favorite something or heart something or add it to your cart. Very similar process. You can't do that on RealTracks, so that's a nice feature here. That's fine. And so you also see here that I've called her using the app 2 different times, and then I've emailed her from the app, not an e-alert, but 5 times, and then I've sent her a text through the app 3 times. So we communicated that way a little bit. You can add notes, and then these are her past transactions. These are other properties she's owned in Nashville. That was a rental property, and that was the one that she just bought as a second home to come visit us. So one of the cool things, just a quick story on why I like this system. She told me when she first started searching that she was looking at up to 450. She had a 1-bedroom condo here in Bristol, West End. She sold that and said, yeah, I'm going to look for a 2-bedroom. I want to be able to, you know, when I come in to visit, have the kids come over and let them stay for the night or whatever, you know, can go to dinner or whatever. So she did that, up to 450. She liked the idea of secure parking, something that was a little bit newer, didn't have to do much work on, you know, maybe she wanted a pool for the kids to be able to swim. It was a lot of criteria. And so I started going down this path of looking at kind of newer properties, because Bristol West End was only about 10 years old, 10, 12 years old. And so I was looking at, you know, Belmead Court, all these other kind of newer things within a pretty tight radius of our house. And 450 actually was like not really doing much. I mean, we were finding a little bit, but it wasn't really that helpful. So I set her up on this. And what do you notice up here? What's in green? So the 26 properties that she's been browsing around on her own, how far away from that is 450?
Yeah.
Pretty far. Pretty far, right? So this was her average search price, was 306. So I started looking at it, I'm like, huh. Maybe she's lying. Maybe she doesn't know I spent 450. Which according to a book called Buyers Are Liars and Sellers Are Too. So sometimes buyers do this. They say one thing, but they really do another. So Boomtown was watching her behavior patterns and tracking all that and analyzing it. And so I can go in here and I can look at a summary of the properties. I can see the individual properties she searched for. I can look at a summary of just price ranges. Well, 46% were in the 200s, 35% were in the 300s. She didn't, and that was probably a rental that she was looking at. She only looked at 4 properties in the 400s. So she told me she was okay spending up to 450. So she's saying one thing, behaving a different way. And you can click on these and see beds, baths, neighborhood zip codes if somebody's got a wide search, and help them narrow down what they're looking for, or help them understand what their behaviors are doing. So all that to say, we ended up, so that was her average search price. So I was like, all right, I'm going to find a spot that I think she may not, it wasn't even falling in the category, I don't think, of what I had set up, because I was looking at newer stuff. So there's a condo property called Lion's Head, around White Ridge, a little bit older. So I went over and I previewed a couple of those. There was one that felt like it was a good fit. It doesn't have a garage parking, but there's a gate and a guard there, and they lock the gate at night. And it needed a little bit of a kitchen refresh, some new countertops, and then maybe a little bathroom refresh in 2 of the bathrooms. But I know contractors. I can coordinate. She didn't even have to be here, and it can be done by the time she gets here, or while she's back in North Carolina. So, hey Zach, I'm willing to spend up to 450, but my patterns show 306. Guess what we bought the house for?
310.
Thank you. That was a good guess. That was a good guess. Right? So all that to say, I would not have been able to do that on Real Tracks, and maybe would have eventually found that. But it really was seeing this that triggered me to say, I need to take a different approach. And I'm her son-in-law, so she probably didn't want to tell me that I was doing it wrong, or tell me that I was not really sending her the right stuff, right? So it could have been a situation where we just kind of were missing. So that was a really, to me, that was an invaluable, I mean, I would credit Boomtown for helping that sale happen.
Were the e-notifies helpful to her? I mean, you were e-notifying her up to 450, right?
I was e-notifying her up to 450, but I think I had it set to only properties that were built like 2000 and later.
And then did she
She just said, I like the idea of something a little newer.
right, and then did she, like, but then you saw what she's actually looking at, so I'm just.
So she'd give an e-alert, end up on the website, and be like, oh, well, I'm here. Let me just kind of, that e-alert, what it did, it drove her to the website.
Got it.
Because ultimately, because then she'd say, hey, I saw my Redfin, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
right? But people will, like, you can't stop it, right? So people are going to use Realtor, Zillow, Redfin, the whole, all of that. But as long as you still are driving them back to the site, you'll be able to, you'll capture some amount of data to be able to track them. And again, this does not replace you actually talking to them, right? I mean, but it gives you some insight on what their behavior patterns do. You have anything else to say about that?
No. The e-alerts will drive people back. Also, sending a newsletter through Boomtown, which is a whole other combo, will send people back too. So e-alerts are awesome.
Yeah.
Lee Funk told me the good pitch in terms of this, because people do look at all different other websites, just to say every
15 minutes in real time? It uploads from real times?
Yeah. It's every, I don't know the actual minutes, but it's pretty, I mean, I've seen some things, sometimes it'll say updated 2 minutes ago, I've seen one updated 60 minutes ago, so maybe it's every hour.
So it's quicker, apparently quicker,
It's pretty fast.
but from all the years.
Yeah, it's very accurate data. So, all right, so so that was just a quick overview of how to navigate. And ultimately, the best way to learn is to play with it. But we're going to talk about a few more things to give you a sense of kind of how to utilize this. So, internet leads. If you go to the Boomtown training and you take the online training, they're going to talk a lot about internet leads. Random people that you don't know emailing you. A lot of real estate people spend a lot of money. Real estate people, realtors spend a lot of money getting those leads. That's why they do Boomtown, because they want to generate internet leads, right? And so there are a lot of automated drip campaigns and all kinds of stuff that you can use to do that. My preference, the way I do my business, and I think the way most of you do your business, is through your sphere of influence, right? So you can still use this for your sphere of influence, and I think that mother-in-law story was proof of that. So that's just a little sidebar on that. So you want to talk about tags and categories a little bit?
Sure.
So tags versus categories. Every CRM has some version of this.
So I was just educated on this as well, because within the CRM, there's not a tags category. Is that correct?
There's what?
There's not a tags category. There's not the ability to tag, other than just manually putting the tags. Right?
No. So there is the ability to tag. So you can do. So if you go to. Let me show you real quick. So if you go to the. So if you go. You don't have to go at all. I'll show you. So these are all tags that I put under my mother-in-law. Second home, approved cash, newsletter, right? So I've got people in different counties, and Caitlin downstairs makes a newsletter every month that she puts in Boomtown, so I can send that to her. So I can mass mail. I don't want to send everybody to the Davidson County one, because I've got some Williamson County people, right? Not local, past clients. So I wanted to just say, hey, I want to look at all my past clients and download that list or send them something. You can do that without having to go through and think like, who are my past clients again? So think of tags as stickers. You can have a lot of them. Have you seen Office Space? The flare. Right? Lots of flair. So the ones that are valuable, because me, Scott, and Crystal all share one Boomtown account, we also, she's tagged as me, as like, all right, I want to just have a look at the people that I've worked with over the years. The ones that are valuable to me, this one is really valuable. The newsletter, not local. I can probably delete that. That doesn't. I don't. That's a default one in Boomtown. I just picked it because why not? And then past clients, I use that. So it's like, all right, let's get a list of all of our past clients. You might put somebody in there that's just you met, right? And maybe they're not a client. Maybe they've never bought or sold from you, but they've referred you a bunch of people, right? So I created a little one because you can. There's Boomtown specific ones, and then you can create some. So we created one called Influencer, although I misspelled it once and wrote influencers. So I need to delete that. But if you wanted to, like, what would be a tag that you would call church, right? So you have a bunch of church people. Well, I don't have a tag in there that's called church, so you can create a new tag called church, and then that'll just be in your list. So you can tag people that way. What else?
Yeah, I do it for any networking things I'm at. So in JC, the National Junior Chamber, I use that for anybody that I meet at in JC.
Right. I can spell. You get the idea, right? So you create a tag for that. So then you just want to sort, those people and just send them something, or be able to help identify people in groups, circles. And so somebody might be a neighbor, right? So I've got neighbors a tag, past client, developer, downsizing, is local, investor. Maybe you've got an investor listing, and you've got a list of 10 people in your database who are real estate investors. They like collecting rental properties. So send it to them all at once, right? Make sense? So that's a tag. A category is, I'm talking about categories, a little bit different. You can only be in one of these and you can't change them. So Sandra is closed. Why is she listed as closed? That's good. That's good. She could also be hot, nurture, watch, pending, archive, or trash.
But she can't be hot.
And
My
she
clients
cannot be
can
trash.
be, but she can't.
She cannot be. So the what do you all call your people? There's a lot of ways to identify this. Some people call it their A, B, C list, hot, warm, cold. Do y'all call your people anything? Like in terms of categorizing now?
Hot, warm, cold.
Hot, warm, cold?
Yeah.
What is a hot lead?
Like you're actively buying, looking, writing contracts.
So they can write, what did you say, Andrea?
Write a contract.
They can write a contract today, yeah. So it's like you can write a contract with them today. What would be a warm lead? Because hot is on here, that makes sense. Warm is not on here.
Probably more of a.
Qualified.
Probably watch, actually. And so you've got, and so again, these are Boomtown specific. Like it or not, they're not going away, that's what they're called. So if you look at this sheet here, this is a cheat sheet that talks about what each one is. So new, if you enter somebody in brand new, they're just going to default to new. You can never put somebody back as new. You don't want people to be new for very long. So qualified just means that if you try to reach out to them, let's say it's somebody that you met at an open house, right? So you add them in, and then you try calling them or emailing them, nothing. So you just put them as qualified, right? You at least try to qualify them, but you haven't actually talked to them to know a little bit more about where they are. But then let's say you do talk to them and they say, you know, we're thinking about something, but we're like, I don't know, we're probably like 3 to 6 months out. You might call that a warm list, but if warm is not a category out here, what would you call it? Nurture. So nurture is sort of just before hot. These are actually kind of in sort of an odd order. It seems like watch should be before, but watch is maybe a cold or a cool list, right? They're gonna do something, but you really have no idea when. It might be a couple years from now. So it's just a way to just keep them on a little bit of a touch point. And so what you can do is, based on these categories, you can set up automatic email campaigns. You know, if you wanted to set up an automatic campaign to send somebody a note every 3 months that was on a watch list, a watch category, you could do that. But ultimately, that's however you want to communicate with your client. There's a lot of different options here to do that. Hot, we know what hot is. Pending and closed, pretty obvious. What about archive?
Yep.
Archive versus trash.
Why would you put someone in archive?
And you have state.
There's valid information, but they're not looking to buy or sell.
Yeah, so maybe archive is like, yeah, maybe they've moved out of state, you listed their house, sold it, and they're gone and they're not coming back. So Boomtown, you can't delete anybody as a safety measure, so you don't end up like dropping your computer in the bathtub, inadvertently deleting all your database. You put archive as effectively kind of like deleted. Trash is sort of like deleted too, except trash is just like, I never want to see them again. Right? So trash might be somebody who comes into your open house, they fill in a sign-in sheet, and they write Mickey at MickeyMouse.com. But then you don't notice that until after you put it in. Or if you have a listing, you're going to get those random leads, internet leads. So we put a listing on the market the other day. We've probably gotten 6 people who found it on the village website, and it captures their info. When they're on it, it'll let them scroll through a few pictures, and then it asks them, "Hey, you want to see more? Continue with Facebook or create an account," and so it'll send us their contact info. But if somebody put in, MickeyMouse.com or whatever, then just mark it as trash. Make sense?
What if they're, like you put in one of your contacts and, like you're sending them a newsletter, the newsletter and that thing, and then they opt out of email? What's your recommendation on, I guess, that week? Even if they're still friends, they just don't want to be
They want unsubscribe to email or whatever.
So if somebody's unsubscribed from your email list and they're a friend,
Yeah.
call them out on it. My brother unsubscribed from mine.
Yeah.
I sure as hell called him out on it. What are you doing? He's like, I get so many emails. Oh, I'm looking for that.
Trash category.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, yeah.
Yeah, and some people, we've all done it, right? We're going on a spree of just being overwhelmed by email. It's like, unsubscribe for like 3 days straight, just anything you get. So maybe it was that. You know,
I think you can still leave it in archive and like if they're listed and you put all and send it to them, it automatically doesn't go to them, I think. I'm almost positive.
You can also search by category. So let's say you wanted to send something just new or just pending or just closed clients or whatever. If you were to send out your newsletter that way, by category, you could archive people that unsubscribed into trash or archive for that matter, and then send your newsletter to everybody else.
Or I guess you could just take them off that tag for the newsletter, remove that, and it's not an issue.
yeah,
Sorry.
so, oh, that's all right. So examples of tags, neighbor, pastime, friend. Ignore that. I just obviously copy and pasted that. We're going to change it. So, oops. So the examples of categories are actually these.
That's why I was confused. I was like,
Yeah.
tags, what are we
Ignore that. We'll just delete that. Just so that's not confusing. All right. So, but those are examples, right? So the biggest thing is tags are like stickers. You can have a bunch of them. Categories are like buckets. You can only be in one. Smart drip campaigns, I'm not going to get into this because this could be a day-long class in and of itself, but there are a lot of smart drip campaigns where, and there's some if this then that tools, where if somebody replies to you, then it'll stop the campaign. So let's say, you probably wouldn't do this with people that are in your, that are friends or that know you, but let's say it is a kind of a random lead that comes in or a open house lead or something like that. You just want to put them on a kind of set it and forget it. You can create those, and there's a lot of ones that you can pull down that are automated from Boomtown and assign that. But also, if they reply to you and then they're like getting another email 2 hours later saying, "Hey, it's been a while since we've talked," it's like that. It's smart enough to trigger so that it doesn't keep doing that. You can also set it up so that they get text messages from a number that's assigned back to you. There's a little bit of an extra charge to be able to do that. It's $50 a month. But for the most part, Boomtown charges us to add that feature.
Say that about the text message again.
So you can have it set up so that you can do basically smart drip alerts with text messages. So you can have a combination email and text campaign. It doesn't come from, it looks like your email address, but it's not, it's a Boomtown email address, so when they reply, Boomtown filters it, you still get an email to your email address. And the text message is a separate phone number that if they call or text back, you'll get notified.
I checked with SIS, and they said that you can send out your letter to individual people, but if you want to do a group, you need to pay $50 a month.
So the group, yeah, so basically, Boomtown's in the business to make money, so it's expensive, but we're not paying $1,000 an agent.
Right.
So one of they basically give you 95% of the functionality. There are a few features that are kind of user-friendly features. One is select all, email newsletter, done in 10 seconds, right? To be able to do that, it costs $50. I'm working on a way to try to do that where Village Assist can do that for you. But there's a little bit of a hiccup right now where it's not. We have to figure out, without getting into the weeds, it's coming from them and not from you. So I'm trying to work around that.
I signed up to I'm paying for it.
Yeah, to me it's worth it, and I'll show you one feature that's really valuable about it. I'll show you in a minute, and it's called the Now Wall. And to me, that is worth every penny because it starts to pay attention to the behavior patterns, uses predictive analytics, and it'll start yelling at you and say, "Hey, this person has looked at the same property 3 times in the last 24 hours from 2 different locations. Probably interested, right?" That means maybe they're looking at it, stalking it, showing their friends, whatever. Make sense? All right, so just know that that's there. You can access that from, and there's training, again, There's training on all this stuff, but you can access that, the smart drip campaigns, from marketing, right down here, smart drip plans.
Oh. So mine doesn't have that.
Mine doesn't.
So, smart drip plans only the $50 a month.
Yes.
There's email templates. Maybe the smart drip plans are part of the $50 a month too. That might be. And while I'm here, I'll go through it again, but support, training, there's training on all that. And I've got a little side-by-side list of what the $50 a month covers. So, the smart drip plans, all right, e-alerts. So this is probably the most useful feature that you can get started with today. So, if you remember how do you enter a new lead? There's 2 places you can go.
There's a box.
One's right up there.
Right.
Yeah. And the other one is right here. Right? Same thing. You can add a lead, add yourself if you want.
Is there a way to add in mass?
There is a way to add in mass. Okay. Yeah. There's definitely a way to add in mass. And I can send out that link afterwards, but there's or I can show you how to do it, but we're gonna cover that. That's my last slide. You wanna talk about e-alerts for a minute?
Sure.
He's doing the stage. All right, so let's just say we wanted to set up. I've got myself in here.
Whichever we should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put yourself in
Size
there.
getting big.
I think I have myself in here a few times, but anyway, that is show them how to do it. So who's used RealTrax Auto Notify? Right? Same thing in concept, very similar to setup, except that you can track what they're doing, and they have an account, and they can save properties, go back and look at what they've looked at. They can adjust their searches without you.
You can't draw, right?
You can.
You can draw them out. So yeah, if you're working with a buyer, I would sit down with them and do this right in front of them and let them know how this works. And then you can talk to them and say, look, this helps me be able to see what you're looking at. It's not creepy, it's actually really helpful. Because then I can get a good sense of what you like and what you don't like based on not just what you say, but also what you seem to express interest in. So,
What's this one, right?
it doesn't matter. Anyway. So you click on, so I've got a few set up, but you can create a new one.
Yep. And so the system alert is just like the web activity. That's kind of what they assume just through data of what you're looking for. So system alert.
System alert will not work if they don't have enough
Data.
data,
Yeah,
right?
data.
So if you set somebody up and they're constantly looking in 37212 between 800 and 1,000 and a million at certain types of houses, it's going to say, all right, we have a pretty good analytics profile on this person. System alert, it'll just figure it out, right? What's up?
I was gonna see, like, let's say I'm meeting you for lunch, like, I got lunch meeting tomorrow, so we're gonna buy some
Yeah.
for rentals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk in there and say, hey, this is village.com, or do I go to Boomtown first? Because you're saying we would plug in village and then it will take them first.
So I would sit down, if I'm meeting with a client, it might be hard to do it at a lunch table, but if you're sitting down with them, or just let them know that you're going to set them up in the search. But if you're sitting with somebody, it doesn't hurt just to say, create a blank alert right now, and then one, you're kind of talking through them, all right, tell me where you're looking. We talked about these areas or what you're looking for, and so you can select pretty much all the same criteria that you do on a RealTrax Auto Notify. So this is the front page of it.
What's your price range? What's ideal? Do you know? Have you
I'm
spoken
gonna
of?
say probably right around 3 to 250 to 3, yes.
Cool. So this guy will allow you to draw on the map, and it's kind of drop and click.
Yeah,
You
once-
kind of blanket area.
Wants to be carried out of town. That's probably about the two things.
Too much?
So that would be an actual rental. Is he looking for a rental?
Oh, he's looking
buy
for
or
just-
just?
Yeah, he's gonna
That's the
purchase,
problem.
he's gonna purchase and use things.
Got it.
Cool.
So that would be the rental category. So you're looking for single family or, I mean, potentially single family or multifamily, but if you, what do you do for pricing? If somebody says they're looking up to 300,000, do you cap it off of that? You try to upsell them?
Everything's negotiable.
But a lot of times it's like, yeah, you want to capture a little bit of a wider range. So I'll usually, they're like, what's your max? I'll go up a little bit higher. And I'll tell them, we're going to do that just to make sure that what?
You don't miss
They're not listening. Buyers are afraid of three main things. One, they're afraid of missing something, right? They're also afraid of buying the wrong house or a broken house. I just had
Overpay?
yes, thank you. They're afraid of paying too much at a moment, senior moment. And so this ensures, one, that you're helping to educate them on what's out there, but also to make sure they're not going to miss anything. So I would start, would you start at 250 or would you start at like 245? 245. Yeah. I think we need
240. Okay. Do I hear 239? Is 325 too? I think you're good. Oh yeah. There you go. Thank you.
And so there's all these categories.
Very
The
good.
more you check, the more aligned you're being on every other agent inputting things correctly.
And
Just
that
as a
is in
reminder.
the blank dealer, correct?
It's the blank
Yes.
dealer, yeah.
Yep. And before
99% of the time you're using a blank dealer.
and before I send, I like to see what I'm sending, just because I don't want to bombard people with like, this isn't what I'm looking for. Why would you send me this? So this is what comes up between 240 and 325. Question mark? 325. Yeah. Do you send listings to yourself as well?
I do not, but you could. So yeah, so you can get a quick sense of what you're looking at or what they're going to get, and you can set that up. If you go back to the other tab, you can set that up too right here. So you get a subject line that goes in. The buyer versus the seller, that just defaults a couple things. So it'll default like a seller. It'll also send them what's under contract pending or sold, right? So if you just, you know, if you want to let a seller know what else is coming on the market, which I would actually still send them an active listing. But let's say you're doing it for a buyer. Any length of time, let's say they have been on the MLS and they know what's out there, so we're just looking at stuff that's like pretty new, right? So now it just went from 71 to 5. Does that make sense? Same thing. Any price reductions? You know, maybe newest since yesterday. Well, that goes to 0, so let's not do that. Because that means there are no price reductions since yesterday. So this is a helpful little tool just to see what you're about to send them. And then once you do it, it's just automatic. I would not click any of these things, only listings with open houses, unless you just have somebody who's obsessed with going to open houses and they just want to know what the open houses are in their neighborhood, then you do that. And you can name it and save it. I think that's working now. That was a glitch. And then talk about that.
So the frequency, not everybody wants to be inundated instantly with everything up to the 2-minute, and some people do. If they are if they're new, or if they're in the qualify stage, I'll try to incentivize them by sending them instantly and always. But if they've been on it for a while, I'll send it a couple times a week or weekly if they're not that active, just because what I do send, I want to have value, and I don't want to be unsubscribed or, you know, why are you still sending me this stuff?
So somebody on your hot list is probably instant. If they're buying a contract today, they want to know immediately.
Right.
And once they log in, they can adjust that.
They can adjust them.
They can, yeah, they can create their own too.
Yep, they can create their own. They can adjust them. They can delete them. They can turn them off. They can, yeah. So it gives them. You're really giving the you're giving your consumer, your client, more control, which that is comfortable with them.
Right, and everybody who is who's in your base should have some e-alert set up. And that doesn't mean you have to manually go through. If they've been playing around on the site, you can just do the system and it'll set them up with a general criteria of what they've been looking at.
In order to do like, Zach, you talked about the sold to your past clients,
Yeah.
show what's selling, you just change that listing, therefore the bottom to sold instead of active.
Yeah, and so if you're sending past clients sold in their neighborhood, or just anything in the kind of a market update, how often would you do that?
Oops, like once a month.
Yeah, do that monthly. Perfect. So once people bought a house, they probably don't want to know everything that's going on. Real estate is not what they live and breathe every day.
It's TV.
So yeah, so you basically, it's like a monthly version of a real estate review, a little market update.
So that's two quick, easy touches, if you think about that in the newsletter.
There you go. Love it. Yeah, exactly. So we try to set up past clients for that all the time. And then so here's one little trick. The one thing that I would not do. And then I want to jump into the now wall, and then we're coming close to time, so we can wrap up and I'll give you some to-dos that you can pick up on. But when you're setting up an alert, do not add a subject. It'll default to whatever, I know this is like me as the agent, but also me as the consumer. That's just a Gmail address it's kind of a junk mail address. So it's going to send it to that. The temptation would be to add my wife onto that too. It's not a terrible thing to do that, but it works better if you don't do that. And here's why. This is called the now wall, right up here. And so what this shows is, so these are people who are, these two people came in off of a listing that we had. Elizabeth Black, it says she's viewed this listing from multiple locations. Margaret Ward, third view of a property. Stephanie, it's her second view in 24 hours, right? So we haven't dismissed these, but we've been following up with those people. So Stephanie's ready, she's hot, ready to write a contract whenever we find one. Make sense?
So how did that change based on the subject? So, because you were saying.
Oh yes.
You were
to
saying.
Bring it back to what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
So, thank you. So what would happen is, and I couldn't figure it out, but I put a husband and wife on there, and it was like constantly on the hot list, or on the now wall. They looked at property from multiple locations. They looked at the property more than one time in 24 hours.
So it was just
6 times, whatever, because they were both looking at it, and so it's tracking both their stuff. So really, that second email address is the time if somebody has a personal email and a work email and they don't look at either
okay.
in two different places. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So otherwise, it sort of creates some false alarms, and it messes up the data. To me, this is worth the $50 a month all day long. Right? This is cool. This is a past client from a couple years ago. We sent out a newsletter. Look at all these people in the last week. We sent out a newsletter, and so they're on the website.
Right.
Just for the newsletter. And again, once they're logged in, they just go to villagerealestate.com, and it links them to us.
And the now is extra?
The now wall costs about it costs $50 a month. And you have access to the now wall and I guess the alerts as well. Let me just show you.
Oh, the alerts is extra.
I'm sorry, no.
Okay.
The smart drip campaigns, I think. Let me pull up the list of.
So what do you put for the subjects? Like, do you just put potential? I always am concerned, like, what's gonna pop and make them click on it and say, so I say potential listings, or I found these for you, or I mean.
Yeah, I just say I always say new listings and price changes.
Okay.
I think that's it. It's not like, I don't know, I guess I could probably have a cooler subject line. What do y'all use for subject lines?
Well, their names, if you're seeing what they're seeing on a daily basis, like you're at least auto-notified.
So for real start notified, you copy yourself,
Right.
it's good with their names and subject lines.
Right, so their names come up, so I know who's got an
Yeah.
auto-notify for potential house.
Yeah. I don't put myself on these auto-notifies because I can log in and see
Right.
exactly what they're looking at. If they got it, what they received,
So then
what
they
they
know
clicked
what's
on,
that.
what they favorited, how many times they looked at it. All right, so this is the $50 a month. Targeted bulk emailing in Lead Central, so that would be select all, send newsletter out to everybody at once as opposed to individually. The listing managers feature, I don't really know what that is. Again, we are brushing the surface of Boomtown here. It's got a tremendous amount of power beyond this, but I'm going to do it in bite-sized chunks. Access the auto import leads tool. That's not an automatic uploading of a database of but that's if you're connected to some sort of like a lead generating service, and they can talk to each other. Text templates. So the smart drip plans is the $50 a month, and then the now wall. So to me, that's worth it. I don't care if you do it or not. It's not. I mean, that's like Boomtown's is who gets that. We charge you a village, but we're paying that to Boomtown. So if you want to use it, great. If it's not valuable to you, no problem. But most of what you use in Boomtown, most of the services are part of what we as a village already pay for. So it shows you on the site, gives you a subdomain. You can add leads in Lead Central. You can also bulk upload, create alerts. It says you can text your leads, so I guess you still do get a phone number of some sort to text leads from. Bulk lead import by completing a pre-import questionnaire. So the last thing I want to leave you with, and then we can do it some Q&A, is how to upload a database. Because probably the most awful thing would be to have to go in and manually enter 200 names. Right? It would let you look at your database pretty intently. But down here, this support piece should be your friend. So there's help portal, contact us, and training. You're welcome to contact them. The help portal is really helpful. There's all kinds of stuff here. But if you go in here and you search for pre-import, there it is. Just do import. Bulk import leads, that's what it is. So you just type import, and it'll show you how to do it. There's a little how-to video. So basically, whatever format you have your database in, that sounds like a lot of it, or some version of Excel, then keep it that way. And you might want to add these categories to it if you don't want to have to go back and do it later. Prepare your spreadsheet. There's a template right here you can download, and then you just click create pre-import questionnaire. It takes about 24 to 48 hours for your database to show up on Boomtown, and the reason for that is because a human being actually reviews it to make sure that it's right. If you've ever bulk uploaded something the wrong way into anything, anyway, I've done it. It's annoying and frustrating. So email, just put your email in there as the agent, and then put villagerealestate.com, and then just choose your file, and well, then you click next once you fill it out, and it'll ask you a couple more questions, and then you click go, and then they'll get it, and then they'll tell you about a day or two later, hey, everything's in there, it's ready to go.
So it doesn't need to be villagerealestate.com //
Nope.
or whatever it is?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll send this link out to everybody, but again, to access it yourself, just go under support down here, help portal, and then the other last piece is the training piece, which is really valuable.
Boomtown U.
And I'm in like an admin view already. So there are every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there are 3 classes, and they're live webinars. This drove me nuts for a while because I just wanted to be able to watch it, not during a sales meeting. And, but they do the first class Tuesdays, the second class Wednesdays, and the third class on Thursdays. I would definitely 100% recommend watching all those classes. Some of what they're going to talk about is getting random leads and how to communicate with them. I know that doesn't totally apply with a lot of people, but it'll give you the basics of kind of how the system works. And the reason that they do it live is really interactive. They'll know there's probably 8 or 10 people on there, And they'll say, all right, hey Zach, how you doing today? You know, feel free to ask me any questions if you have them. And people really do start chiming in. And she'll ask some questions, the trainer will ask some questions about, hey, what would you do if, if you were trying to put this in, or what kind of things have you done that? And it creates a good learning environment. So.
You also need to register in advance. You can't just log in at 9 on a Tuesday.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So are they different classes at 9 and 11?
Same classes at 9 and 11.
And then the advanced is at 1?
Yeah, so there's day 1, I can't remember what anyway, you can click on them in either this way, let's see, lead fundamentals.
Somewhere there are, recorded, like, prepackaged.
There are some recorded things as well. So there's a whole course library here that you can look at.
Can I ask like a
macro
question? So everybody's been doing something with their database for a while.
Yeah.
And to dip your toe into this.
Yep.
Where, there's a certain hesitancy, at least on my part, to be like, hey, let me put all my people in here and then have absolutely no control over this thing that I'm not sure about.
Right.
And how it all works. What would be the best way to put in, like, to start? Because I don't know that everybody, and myself included, do a lot of internet leads, but
Yeah.
that's probably like the highest and best use of this. But there's certainly got to be a way that. So what
yeah,
is
the best way to dip your toe.
what's the let
So,
me
so
get
that's
my
a common thing. I was very much the same way. I did a lot of research about this. I thought it was a cool tool. And again, it's not the only database platform out there, but to dip your toe in it, first off, set yourself up on an alert. Understand what it feels like from a consumer standpoint to receive those, to engage, to interact, and then go back into your agent portal and see how it looks, right? So just understand what that looks like and feels like. Go on Village and search on the website to see what that experience is like. If you don't like it, don't use it. No problem. The second thing I would use, the next step I would take is any active buyers you have, set them up on an alert. Maybe in addition to the WillTracks Auto Notify, or just in place of it, right? So just baby steps in that way. But the alert is really the very best way to dip your toe into this and start understanding kind of how the behavior tracking works.
So when they get the alerts, those direct you back to your agent site on the Village website,
Yes.
which you can edit and finesse a little bit, I'm assuming.
There's a little bit of finessing. There's not a ton that you can do with it, but ultimately, a little bit, yeah.
One of the things, like for instance, all of the cities and things show up.
Yes. So
Does that just
I think that just happens. Yeah.
Okay.
So this has been a point of frustration for me. I like to customize things.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Boomtown a lot about this, and the reason that they basically told me, we have a system that works, we've refined it over the years, and we know it works, and we've watched people try to mess with it, and then it stops working as well.
Yeah.
Just from a sort of interaction standpoint. So, there's also a little thing on here that you could do. There's a what's my home worth, and it's just a lead capture tool just to see that. So you could go to you just retype that as I think under that's our subdomain. So if you wanted to capture that link up there, you can do a what's my home worth. So I could say 3721 Central Avenue, Nashville, Tennessee.
Be signed in when you do this, too.
Yeah, be signed in when you do this under yourself. Discover market value, and it basically gives you a little estimate. Boom. And I've actually found it's pretty accurate.
So we're using local data, whereas estimate is national.
Yeah.
So it is a little more accurate.
Huh.
So this doesn't have an API that you can integrate into the website? We'll just.
There might be. I would look in the help portal in that. It has there are all kinds of Zapier integrations, and there's a lot of tech behind this thing. And I'm kind of a tech nerd, and it's over my head on a lot of stuff. So you can go super deep in it, but dip your toe in first. I would not recommend anybody just like going all in until you do understand it on this or anything. So
I accidentally, I was just trying it out and I put one of my buyers in, and I sent it in there and he emailed or texted me like 10 minutes later and said, can you set my fiance up on this? This is amazing. And they've already bought it.
Cool.
well, that's cool.
kind of touch those old flyers that kind of got stale through the winter. They just say, hey, we have a new system, so it's great for futures. I want to make sure you're receiving these, and let me know if this works better. And I've gotten 4 on there, and I was just looking, and you can see one was just on there an hour ago, 2 other ones were on there a couple of days ago. So it's just, to me, you're much more informed knowing what the buyer's actually doing out there.
It works really well for buyers, and it works really well for buyers who are actively looking or thinking about it. So in terms of dipping your toe in, start with yourself, test it out, see what the experience feels like, and then just try it with one buyer. But I like the, I've done it where sometimes I'll tell people I'll set them up, but I've also sat down with people and just said, hey, let's go through this thing. How's this map work, right? Like you were drawing and you were saying like, oh, a little bit different. Buyer's gonna tell you, that's fun. They're doing that on their own. So engage them in the process. Let them know that you can see what they're doing. Encourage them. If you like the property, favor it. I can see all that stuff, and then the system also starts identifying patterns to be able to look at that as well and help me understand a little bit more about what you're wanting.
I know you talked before about changing the website name. Since I placed the websites on the web, it's kind of got on hold. I would love to integrate that into this, but there's some downsides to that.
Change the website name.
Yeah, from like steve.gilly.villagerealestate.com, I'd rather have a whole original domain.
So you can forward a domain to that, or you can either forward your old domain to it, or you might be able to do a I forget what it's called, but there's it's a DNS thing. You might know what it is.
I didn't hear.
Any downside to that?
I don't think so.
One thing I noticed, Zach, on the if you set up your web page to the village site, when it pops up, you don't see when someone goes there, you don't see you see village.
Right.
And then you have to scroll down to see yourself. Is that
It's not a way to change that right now.
Yeah.
So there are some downsides on that front, right? So you have access to you automatically get a consumer-based website, right? And it looks like this, right? And so yeah, so you scroll down and then you'll see some information down here about yourself or whatever. You upload your bio here, edit your profile, change that stuff. Whenever you change that stuff, it'll change it on the website. So for better or worse, that's not changeable, right? But that's, again, there are other options if you wanted to have a brochure type website. This is more of a workhorse powered solution to create results rather than a
social media.
Beautiful, yeah.
And people don't use your website that
Yeah,
much.
there's no
They wanna
perfect
know-
solution, so. I agree with you, and I think they're tuned into that, is that, I mean, there was a company, Hobbs Harder, I don't know if they're still around, they were very successful in doing a lot of personal agent branding, and agents would spend tens of thousands of dollars to get these beautiful, full-page personal brochures with them, on the cover, and it was all about them, and it's like a brilliant marketing concept. This company was like, all right, we're gonna make a brochure all about you. Don't you think all your clients want to know everything about you? And, that was like, I think we now know that that's really not the best approach. It's really, it's all about the client. And, but anyway, agents spend a lot of money on that. So there's always, that's human nature, right? There's always a desire to be able to sort of show yourself in a good light, but clients want the results. They want to be able to have access to houses and avoid those 3 fears, right? Paying too much, missing something, and then buying a house that is not the right house, broken house, or something wrong. So, anything else? All right, I know this is a lot, and it was just kind of scratching the surface, but dig into the training, download the app. It's called Boomtown Now.
You just made a boom.
Now. Oops. This is what that's what the little icon looks like on the App Store, and you can log in with your agent account. This is not for consumers. This is just for agents, right? So you got to log in, but it'll give you access to a bunch of stuff. You can also call people from it. A lot of times, if I've got a few minutes, I'll just log into the Boomtown Now app, and I'll call people through that, and it registers your call, and then when you're done, when you get off the call, a thing will pop up and it'll say, did you talk to them? Did you leave a message? Does the number still work? Did they tell you to go to hell? So it actually says something almost like that, because they tell you to stop calling or something. So it's a good way to just, kind of keep in touch with people and track them. But it's unrealistic to think that you're going to start calling every single person and communicating exclusively through this. I think in a perfect world, that's, sure, that's how we could all do it, but that's just not realistic. Cool. All right, so dip your toe in, create an account for yourself, a consumer account, like you as the buyer, set yourself up in an alert, and then if you like that, set one or two buyers up in the alert, and then go from there. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.